Just for recording purposes, this is season 3, episode 2. In 3, 2, 1, go. So I've forgotten to record where I say the episode name and the episode number, and then I'm like, I don't know what episode this is for. Meanwhile, lighting.
Meanwhile, at building,
Can somebody please remind people how to light things?
it's a modern streaming show, you fool.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad when we get to the Hellraiser remake, and there's just scenes like, huh?
Oh no. What you need to do is you need to paint your walls black and get blacked out windows, and then you're good to go.
I have thought
And
about
turn
getting
off all
some
the
like,
lights.
well, because I with my OLED TV, I do like to watch things in the dark. But I thought about getting some like blackout curtains because the sun will hit just right, and then I can't see the TV. It's the worst, mate.
Yep. Yeah, I have a friend with a mini home theater with a projector, and they have like blacked out windows. They painted their walls black, and they painted the ceiling black. So when they turn on that projector, like, it just looks perfect. It looks pristine. Everything's blue now. Also, an element of the season that I don't mind is this is like our only upside down scene. Like, this season has by far the least amount of upside down stuff, which at the time
I'm
was kind of
fine with
refreshing.
it, especially now because I think they overdo it in 4. It's like,
Right.
oh, these characters in the upside down and not worried about air or toxins or.
Well, and I will say this also carries into forward. This doesn't look great. We've now shifted to just doing this on a green screen, which is kind of unfortunate.
It looks all right in
Like,
4.
it looks all right in four. The upside down never looks as good as it did in season one because they actually took the time to decorate the sets and light the scenes differently. And after that, it's just green screen filter
Ugh.
fixed in post.
I think the only scene where may look wonky is that slow mo of Max running at the end.
That doesn't look great, but it's at least a good scene.
You know what I don't miss? Running up that hill, playing everywhere after that season.
It's a great song. I
That
credit
is
that
an
show for
okay
introducing me to
song
that
with a
game.
really good chorus.
It's a good song, and then it got overplayed. But like you said, that has since died down.
No, but I say that it was just like how to describe it. Just that was the first time Stranger Things had felt like an event since the first season, where just
Hmm.
everybody was playing that song, sharing the Eddie memes, talking about the season. 2 and 3 didn't have that.
Yeah, I mean they were still successful, but four was pretty big, and the buildup was a factor because there was like 2 years between three and
which
four.
which might have something to do with Finn Wolfhard's performance. Is just if that took so long.
Mhm. Yeah, and I don't love this plot, but Mike does
Her
fuck
that
up.
you're
You should not have lied.
tell
That's
her her father's a psychopath.
yep.
But see, that's the thing is like if you're gonna treat Hopper like he is the correct one, then I need to be able to believe it because I don't understand Hopper's problem other than it's a sitcom.
Like I said, Finn does sell the scene for me. Like, Mom, just get off the phone. No, Hopper's issue is just Mike and Eleven are spending way too much time together, and he just doesn't know how to communicate that or
Okay, but
to
respectfully,
set
what is
proper
too much time?
every wake moment of every day. Like it's a thing a lot of parents go through because it's like, hey, that's my daughter, and I'm
Okay,
spending
but
like
if
no
you're gonna
time with her,
have him
just
have
hanging out with her
such an
boyfriend.
over the top reaction, it needs to be more than, oh, I they're spending too much time together. Like, I don't know.
This guy has also fought in Nam and his daughter's side. Like he's fucked up in that.
But the show doesn't play it that way.
Yeah. Eh, I don't know, but when they play it for comedy, I'm cool with it. Like this scene
And
again, he's just
congratulations, you
entertaining
bullied
to
a
watch.
teenager into
He
not
did it.
being with the person he cares about.
Yeah. No parent's perfect. He did his best. You don't mess around with Jim.
But did his best for what? Like, the only person that benefits is him.
Yeah, it's his house. But I also don't disagree that this is the most cartoony Hopper ever is in this show. And season 4 gets back to season 1 Prime
Okay,
Hopper. Again,
so let me
I can roll with it because David Harbour is really entertaining, but this is what I
okay,
was
so
saying
let
up
me
top
ask
of
you
this
this.
is more cartoony.
So let me ask you this. So his goal is to
Yeah,
get them to spend less time together,
yeah,
but he has to work.
yeah.
So he doesn't care that she's home alone all day by herself, as long as
Nope.
he's not with her boyfriend.
Yep.
And this is the character logic that I'm supposed to follow.
It's the thing a lot of parents go through. Pretty normal.
Okay, but a lot of parents also don't bully 13-year-olds.
You'd be surprised.
I understand that you find it's entertaining, but the logic is not there.
I think you're using the term bully pretty liberally.
He put him in a car and terrified him.
Yeah,
That's
that's what you're
bullying.
supposed to do. It's parenting, John.
That was not parenting.
You also hate kids. I don't know why you're so upset with that.
I love kids, but I also don't like the mistreatment of kids. Like, I don't know. I'm a
Oh, Mike,
contradiction.
I still say Mike had that coming. He was being a little asshole. Like he wasn't physically threatened. Like I don't think he crossed any line. Meanwhile, magnets.
I guess my thing is this would have been the season to show some character growth for Hopper. Instead, arguably, he regresses.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Again, like I said, this
Nancy,
is
learn
a
how to
more
pour a cup of
cartoony.
coffee.
Well, like I said, again, this is that fork of the road where you kind of see where people are coming from. Though, like I get why this is a lot of people's least favorite season because everything's heightened, characters are more one note. It is more silly. It is more cartoony. There
Yeah,
is less nuance here than there was in the first couple seasons. It's entertaining, so I still like it. But
it
I
really
thought you
just
loved this
is. I guess it really just is the main subplot. Like that's my favorite. Like it's so good. But I've never
Yeah, that
liked the Mike 11 subplot, and that goes from the beginning all the way to the.
yeah, and I've always thought it's fine. I think though this season, maybe more than any of the others, probably has most of the best stuff in the middle with Billy and the mall subplot with
Yeah, but I mean,
Steve.
the stuff
Like,
that is in the middle that is good. We don't linger on the fact that Mike and 11 have broken up. It just happens, and then we move on.
right. Yeah, it's never like miserable to sit through. I am annoyed that you get like one episode of these characters being happy and then everyone is either broken up or bickering for like the rest of the season and then
Yeah.
it's resolved in the finale.
Well,
Again,
and
just I'd like more downtime.
I think we're on the same page. It's just I think it goes further back. Like I think that stuff starts in the premiere. The minute you have Hopper get into Mike's head and intimidate him, you're destined for a crash out. It's not interesting. Just let these characters
Yeah,
have
well,
fun.
you could have also resolved that way quicker
Oh,
than they
okay. Hold on. This is the best scene in the season. I don't care.
do. Dustin.
And what I like about this is because Steve was kind of miserable last season. He gets to have a little more
Mhm.
fun this season.
Yeah,
Let loose.
and again, though, like I said, this subplot actually tracks because no, Dustin is not lying. He does have a girlfriend. He's also really overselling it with the Phoebe Cates comparison. Like that's why it's funny. Like,
Yeah.
see, he's not being 100% honest. And the bickering with Steve and Robin is entertaining because it's always playful. Like they never get too mean. It never gets too serious. Like there is a
It's
lighter
it's
energy to
good
it.
because when you get to the real moment,
Mhm.
it feels earned.
Yeah.
And Steve, especially by this point, isn't somebody that's like vicious. He's just mildly annoyed most of the time.
Hmm.
But I think that tracks because I think there is a read that his home life isn't the greatest.
Yeah.
And it's made him want to kind of break that cycle and befriending Dustin and has kind of opened his eyes to like, I can be better than my parents were.
Mhm.
I don't know if the writers are thinking about that, but there is a read.
Oh, totally.
Did you have this thing at the end of the season when he gets his new job at Family Video where you're like, oh, I didn't know those were around back in the 80s? I thought that was like a newer thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what comes first, Family Video or Blockbuster, but by the mid '80s, those start kicking in and taking over the mom and pop stores franchise, maybe.
Franchise.
So I actually don't mind this subplot with these two initially. I like seeing Eleven and Max interact. It's also nice to see Eleven like get to talk to a girl her age who's not her crazy sister. So I think this starts okay, and then we just spend way too much time on it and gets to that annoying breakup stuff. Like that's the stuff I don't like. But I do like in this scene when Will just wants to play Dungeons and Dragons, and his friends are talking about
Related.
gnomes. It's like this is a good situation to put them in.
No, I like his friends. This is where I think Eleven's lack of character growth has come into play because Max is super aggressive. 11 needs to be more soft temperament. I've learned patience to kind of even that out. Instead, she's just a wet sponge that absorbs whatever Max says.
Yes, I think 11 is talked into breaking up with Mike way too easily, and it's frustrating when so much of seasons 1 and 2 are building up to these characters getting back together and loving each other. It's like episode 2, we're doing the breakup. Really?
She just has
Already?
no agency. Mike's like, "Oh, we're together now." She's like, "Oh, I guess we're together now." Max is like, you guys are not together anymore. And she's like, I guess we're not together anymore.
See, now this is when the show ignoring Will is a deliberate choice, and it's funny and sad. And then the show eventually just unironically starts ignoring Will. By the end of the season,
These people are awful. They're bullying a like 17-year-old girl trying to do her job. No, yeah, I just 11 needs some agency, and she still doesn't have any by season 4. Their big idea for season
maybe a
4 is
little.
Mike doesn't sign his letters love.
Well,
Hooray.
yeah, because we have to do that, and yeah, I'm kind of torn on that whole thing because
No,
we've
which makes her seem
established that
like a
he.
raging bitch. He comes all the way out to see her, and all she can do is yell about the way he signs his
Oh
letters.
no, I think 4 has the weakest premiere of them, and again, I think that season takes a couple episodes
Couple
to find its
seasons.
footing.
That
Couple
one
seasons,
season
yeah,
takes a couple of seasons. I like this shot.
yeah. I don't mind this little fake out here. It's pretty shocking. It looks brutal, but I like the way it establishes that he's not just full 1-0 evil villain, because that's where you think you'd go with him in 2. Because in 2 he's very unlikable and just kind of the stock villain character. This is here to establish, oh, he's like there is an inner turmoil going on within him. Like he is trying to fight back. Like we could have so easily fallen into, oh, Billy loves working with Mind Flayer and being evil because now he has powers. Like they could have so easily fallen into that trap, and what they do is way more interesting.
I'm shocked they didn't, just to be honest with you. I don't know if you've
Mm-hmm.
noticed. I don't trust these writers.
Yeah. No, the subplots works because this like
Because
work.
sometimes they'll deliver something like this, and then other times you get the max subplot.
Yep. No, I really like storylines where a character getting infected like with this evil is what brings their
Evil.
humanity. The evil. The
Imagine if
evil.
Imagine if Loomis was in Stranger Things.
He would have killed all those kids by now. No
I shot
questions
him
asked.
6 times. Okay, so
By
I'm just gonna be upfront. I don't like Erica. I don't.
I,
I don't need her here.
I think she's fine in small doses.
I in small doses, sure, but she really comes off as like an '80s sitcom writer's idea of a child.
Yes. And again, back to season 1, where I agree with you. Where look, if I was a kid in that situation, I wouldn't have behaved that way. But every kid in season 1 had like that oh shit moment. This got real.
And they're
I'm
also
in danger.
likable.
I'm scared.
She is
Yeah,
mean and vicious to everyone.
and it's be funny.
Although
And I mean, it's
he does
sometimes
give
kind
me
of.
one of my favorite Steve moments where he's just like, I don't care about Tina's party.
But I think that's what the season is really missing with Erica's character that you kind of get in 4 of she never gets the oh fuck I'm in danger moment, like I'm scared, like that makes her a more that would make her a more three-dimensional likable character,
I
which
was
like I
big
said is something
Latin
all the kids go
dingus.
through in 1.
Uh, and they did some. I don't know if you know this, but they did some like extra material. Like, there's a book about Robin's school life. I haven't read it, but
Yeah, like they've done like little books and comics and stuff tied in the show. I don't know if I'm ever gonna look at that supplemental material, but
I would be curious about the
cool that it's out
Robin
there.
one. She's my second or third favorite character at this point.
Yeah, she's probably top 5 for me, and not ruined in 4.
No, I think she has some of the best stuff. Even
She
though
gets some good stuff in
she,
4.
like everyone else in that show in season 4, that subplot, seems to be just there to push Steve and Nancy closer together.
Yep.
Like, I like that season and I like those two together because they have good chemistry, but it's a little absurd when everybody's like, maybe you guys broke up a little too fast.
Hmm. uh, I like this bit character. She's in like 1.5 episodes, but she's really funny. This old
This,
lady.
if I remember where this goes, it's very Harry Potter. Because if you remember Harry Potter, there's that old lady and it turns out to be the snake.
Yeah, I can see that comparison.
Doesn't
This
she
is just way more
turn out
fucked
to
up and
be?
sad.
Doesn't she turn out to be like rats?
Well, she gets infected, but that hasn't happened
Oh,
yet.
okay.
She gets taken over by the Mind Flayer stuff. But like I said, this is Nancy and Jonathan working as a team. This is the stuff I like fine with their little investigation. It
No, I
just
like this stuff.
resorts to them
The big
arguing
thing
too
that
quickly.
irks me is the argument they have. I don't know if it's that's later. I think after they get in
Yeah.
trouble. That's what, and that's the stuff that I like in 4 too. Is she joins the main story by doing investigation on
Hmm.
something else that happens to be tangentially related. They always know what to do with Nancy and Steve, even if I and Dustin.
Nancy maybe less.
Um, no, but I mean she's always consistent. Like they know where she's going, even if I don't
Hmm.
like it. Jonathan would be on there, but in season 4 they clearly have no idea what to do with him.
Yep.
Isn't it funny he's a stoner kid now? Even though that's like
Yeah, which
the complete opposite of his established character.
and you could have sold me on that, like him reaching his burnout phase. It just doesn't get to. But I like I like this stuff with the town, picketing because the mall and not being happy with their mayor.
I love the
And
mayor's
look, it's
casting.
Russian Terminator. Perfect casting.
Did he come back in 4? I don't remember.
No, I think he's just season 3.
So
No,
this is a. I don't think it's here, but this is another subplot where Harper's Harper
Hopper.
Hopper, his cartoonishness I think goes too far because there's a scene later where he beats the shit out of the mayor of the town
Yep.
and no one cares.
This guy's almost gotten eaten by so many monsters. I can roll with it. Like, I think I just find it amusing when a character hits there, does not give a fuck at the stage. But and again, this mayor very sleazy, very one note. But it's Carrie Elwes, so it's fun to watch.
It was weird at the time seeing him in this because I'd only really seen him in like Saw and Robin Hood.
Yeah, not the big thing he's known for, which is Princess Bride, which
Which
is
I still haven't
an
seen.
'80s movie. Yeah, it's a good movie because we've talked about this before. Every season has like their big like '80s alumni stunt
Yeah.
casting. Season 1 had Winona Ryder and Matthew Modine. Season 2 had Paul Reiser and Sean Astin. This one's Carrie Elwes. Next one gets Robert Englund for an episode. So that's a tradition I don't mind.
Season 5 is going to have Linda Hamilton.
That's really cool. I hope she gets to give a better performance than we saw in Terminator Dark Fate.
It'll just be her Dark Fate performance.
Oh no.
I just want to know who she's playing.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll be just a one episode role like Robert Englund, or if she'll be in the whole season. It would also be cool if they brought Robert Englund back. That character's still alive. Like he might appear in season 5. They haven't
Um,
confirmed or
the other
denied
thing with
that.
season 5, I don't know if you remember, Frank Darabont is like coming out of retirement to direct an episode,
Hmm.
which is fucking huge.
Yep.
I also didn't realize Frank Darabont was retired. Like,
Yeah. Well, Yeah, it's been a while since this last movie.
But see, this is what I mean. Is like the show wants me to believe that Mike is bad for breaking these rules, but then Max is just as bad, but she's in the right.
I agree. No, there is a hypocrisy there that bugs me
And you know that
when
is
we
the
get to
worst
it.
part.
It's the hypocrisy, the dishonesty. Nothing worse. No, this stuff I don't mind. I think Max and 11 hanging out at the mall is fun, and the stuff I can roll with. And because 11 hasn't like gotten to just be a girl, that's kind of a nice change of pace for her. Like so much of her world has revolved around Mike and Hopper in the first couple seasons, and her fucking dad. So this stuff I don't mind.
No, I like this scene.
And this is a line the show is always walking of really trying to recapture that season one feel and all those bits. Like we always gotta have Joyce like doing something. Season one it's the Christmas lights. Season two it's the map with the drawings. And this season it's magnets. There's always a thing she's got to figure out, and it's still working. It's not bad. It's not too repetitive
No,
of
it
what we've seen
it
before.
hasn't
It's
become
just
the
built up
season
steam.
4 thing yet.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I appreciate that. This is the summer season, but we're still able to work this teacher in for an episode because this is a fun appearance.
yeah, and if I'm cynical, it's well, we got to give Winona Ryder something to do. Like she's still.
Yes. Oh, 1000%. But it's cool that we're able to bring like this guy back to facilitate that.
I would have liked to see them do something else with Jonathan's photography skills that never come up again.
Yeah, this is like the last time we do anything with it. Which again, it's a little detail I like. Like, oh, now he's like trying to make that a profession. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool. And then in
I guess he
season
just
four,
gives up.
never brought up. Yep. Don't drink that lemonade.
Yeah, don't.
It just makes me think of that scene in X. The most disgusting looking lemonade I've ever seen.
Is it just me, or does he look a little strung out?
No, I can see that.
Because I know that he's been arrested like in real life for possession before.
Yes, that happened around two, and it was like, oh fuck, like is he gonna get fired? But no, so yeah, hopefully he isn't having any issues. Hope he's all right.
No, it's just I never noticed it. It looks like he's got like bags around his eyes, and I don't know if that's makeup or.
No, I maybe it could just be an age thing because even in season one, like I think it's just natural features. Like he has very distinct eyes.
I also love that he looks
I think it's just
nothing
more
like.
pronounced with age.
I don't know if you have this, but he looks nothing like Noah Schnapp, whatever that kid's name
No,
is.
not really. I
Hey, look,
guess I
it's the
can.
Blob.
Yep, we're doing a blob.
It's so gross. I love it.
So this is the immortal quandary with the show as a series, and we'll see if five six the landing. But the whole, season one, huge hit, critically acclaimed. The one prevailing knock against it or critique is, well, it's kind of derivative of all these 80s movies. Like, it's just a riff on all this old stuff. And then in season two, the criticism of is, oh, it's just more season one. And then in season three, the criticism is, well, it's just the blob. It's like, well, at this point, we've established that that's what it is. Like, I don't, it's that issue of, yeah, you just can't please everybody.
Yeah, it's also
It's either too much like season one or not enough like season one. That affects every season
it's also
with
not
people.
exactly the Blob. Like it's there's
Right.
not a literal blob going around eating people. It's certainly inspired by, but if you're upset about that, I have bad news for the entire history of film.
Yeah. No, I just throwing that out there because I've seen that discussion. And he's allergic to sunlight because Dracula, I guess,
Remember
or
the Blob
Nosferatu.
when the Blob was allergic to the sun?
We'll be talking about the Blob in a week.
No.
This is very fitting. No, but what I like about this season, though, with their riff on it, they're at least consistent with this is the body horror season. It's the Blob. It's also the Thing. It's also Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There's a lot of Invasion of the Body Snatchers in the back half of this, but it's a good mix of all three of those that are all linked. Like this is the body horror season, so it's riffing on all the body horror stuff. It's not, to me, too derivative of just one thing. Like you said, it's not just the Blob. It's also its own thing and this other stuff. Like I think it's a good mix. And I think like 90% of why this Billy subplot works is his performance. Like he really sells
Dacker,
the pain in the
Daker,
torment.
whatever the fuck,
Decree, Montgomery,
sells the fuck
Decree,
out of it.
because he it could have so easily just been I'm evil now, and now I get to do evil things and enjoy it. Like he really sells the torment and anguish where he does not want to be doing what he's doing. I do question them being able to afford all this.
Yeah,
Though I do like the dilemma Mike goes through if he wants to buy something nice, but he also has like no money and can't afford it. And I will say this mall set is super impressive. Like we get to explore every inch of this place. It's really well. The geography is really consistent and easy to follow. Oh my God, Burger King! And this is my issue. is we're gonna see 11 misbehaving and fooling around with her powers, which is fine. It's fine for a character to be doing it, but this is why Hopper doesn't want her going to places unattended, and why Mike's kind of controlling. And there's never the show is like 100% on Max and 11's side during all this.
Yeah.
That I have an issue with. But it's like, no, this is why he is really strict. Again, it's fine that she's making these choices at this stage, but we also saw a lot of that in 2, so it's also kind of repetitive. But I'm fine with seeing 11 move fool around with her powers, but there should also be consequences for that. The week is long.
And this season also starts the other thing I wish he got to interact with Steve got to interact with more of the kids, because like we set up that he becomes protective of them, but then he doesn't talk to any of them other than when he has to.
Yeah, it's mostly just Dustin.
And like season 4 kind of plays into the meme of like with him being the babysitter, but it's like you watch one of them. Teddy says, "Hot take: this might be my favorite season. It is also my favorite season, even though I'm finding more things to complain about than I ever have."
Yeah,
Okay, now Mike, tell her the truth.
yeah. No, I think Mike is overreacting, and again, in the wrong here, which is fine. I'm more okay with this subplot if we resolve it in the next episode. But
Also,
he
we're gonna get up.
keeps lying.
They do this, and then Max also dumps Lucas for some reason.
Yeah, well, but that they at least make a joke out of it, where Lucas is like, "Oh no, Max has dumped me like 10 times already. Like this is just what she does." So that they at least play for comedy, so it's not like miserable. This is not Clark and Lana angst.
Oh wait,
And yeah, like
11 does Mike or Max doesn't egg her on. 11 just decides.
yeah, I dump your ass. And, it's played for a joke, and I'm like, did we earn this? Like, do we need to
No,
do this in episode 2?
Danny, I'm not saying it's the best. It's the best in terms of just doing what it set up to do as objectively season 1. Yeah, I mean season 1 is probably the best, but just for the Steve stuff, this is still my favorite.
Right, and that's fair. Where a lot of your favorite character stuff is naturally going to be from later seasons.
Yeah,
But in terms of plot
writing.
and story, yeah, in terms of writing, season 1's very tight. Though this stuff's great. I like Hopper's shirt this season. Cutting edge. I like that. Again, midlife crisis. Hopper's going through his Magnum phase. He's rocking the mustache.
I think season 3 had my biggest pet peeves and criticism, but I also had so much fun with so much this season.
That's
Season 2 it still has my biggest pet peeves, just because I think the writing gets really bad. But I'm having a lot of pet peeves this season, and it's irritating.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, Teddy, season 2 starts strong and ends strong. Most of the bad stuff's in the middle. This season, like episode to episode, there's like 80% I like and 20% I don't like as much, and it's very consistent.
Yeah, I could agree with that 80-20. It's just we're focusing on the stuff that I don't like.
Right.
The 80s where you could just smoke wherever.
The good old days.
Are you old enough to remember like smoking and non-smoking sections? I don't know when they got rid of that.
I am. I am. I want to say I'm old enough to remember like ashtrays on planes that you just don't see anymore. Now I think smoking was already banned on planes, but they just hadn't gotten rid of the ashtrays yet. But I remember seeing them, and now they're just gone.
I think about this sometimes with like, yeah, you separated the smoking and non-smoking people, but like, it's in the air.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have. I'm not a smoker. I've never been a smoker. It's not super appealing to me. I don't have strong opinions on it. Sorry.
No, it's just something that always makes me laugh. It's like, yeah, you separated this out from the air. How was your Thanksgiving, Teddy? Teddy
Now the
says with
real question
Stranger
is,
Things, I completely get why some people think it should have ended. I just don't agree because I think there are many good seasons later. Plus Steve. No, I firmly
yep,
disagree
we're
that
on
it
the
should
same
have
page.
ended after season one because Steve is the best character in this entire show, and he doesn't get that way till halfway through two.
Yep. No, a lot of the best character stuff comes in the later seasons. So
But Teddy, you should go
the
back and watch our commentaries for season one and two because I will argue to the day I die. Steve didn't do anything, hardly anything wrong, and
now you did a couple things wrong.
the show thinks he is way worse than what he actually.
I love how you're so fed up on Hopper yelling at Mike, the twerp dating his teenage daughter, but Steve being complicit with people slut shaming Nancy to the entire town. That's fine.
I mean,
Steve
they
did
should have
nothing
had a
wrong.
conversation about it. I said Steve didn't do anything nearly as bad as what the show pretends that he did.
He does a couple things bad.
So you
That
agree?
being,
So then you think he deserved to get the shit?
oh, I never said that, but I bought the scenario.
The
We've already had
problem
this
is,
conversation.
the problem is that Steve has to face consequences for that. Hopper never does.
I mean, he kind of does with Russian stuff.
That's
Like,
not a
couldn't
consequence
say
of him bullying a 13-year-old. And I like this moment. I think it's here where we're going to get it with the music. Steve gets his little smart moment because sometimes they play him a little
Yeah.
too dumb.
Hmm. Like, we get it. You love Steve. You don't need to announce it every 5 minutes. We're gonna be here for 8 hours.
I'm talking about the scene on the screen. Like, what? Am I just not supposed to say anything?
Yes. Just shut up and watch the show.
Oh.
But I do, again, in terms of the pacing that works, we've already figured out this trio and their dynamic before the end of episode 2. Like, this stuff has just moved at a clip and has been really natural and fun. And I do like the way
Hey,
he
hey,
just plays it
Robert.
so crazy.
Cleaner. See, Teddy's on my side.
Yes, he was great. Now we'll get to it later. I can
Did you ever
deal
ride
with
those,
the
by the way?
maybe when I was real little, but like
I remember
really,
loving those as a kid. Now I'm older. I'm like, God, it was dumb. It just like moves.
I've never got the appeal of carousels. The lamest rides ever.
I don't like the actual spinning carousels because of the up and down. It makes me queasy. But those things, just like at the grocery store, where you'd sit on the horse and it would like rock. I loved that as a kid. As an adult, I don't get why I loved it.
So I'm guessing you could never handle the swings that
Mm-mm.
spin.
I
Those are some of my favorites
so
growing up.
I am not an amusement park guy
Hmm.
simply because I can't handle most of the rides. I have an extreme fear of heights. My dad made me go to Kings Island on a roller coaster one time, and I about had a panic attack. Okay, I could have taken you out with this lamp. Sinclair, what are you doing? I could have taken you out with this thing. No, I think this show is the best case study of like how invested you are in a certain storyline is dependent on how much you like a character.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I have always pushed back against the argument of, oh, Stranger Things, it's just derivative, pointless, it's all 80s nostalgia. And even if that's true in moments, at the end of the day, I watch the show because I like these characters. Like, that's what matters. I like Hopper. I like Steve, that's what keeps me coming back.
Oh my god.
She'll be fine. Oh, Jesus.
Ah, Jesus. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
And I do like when the season gets dark. Like what
I
we do
don't,
to
because I
this.
can't see what the fuck is happening.
Well, I'm not talking literally. I'm talking thematically.
Well, see, it's thematically
Subject
dark,
matter.
but it's also visually dark.
Yeah. But like this lifeguard girl, like she does not deserve what happens to her.
No.
And that is, god damn it, like there's a lot of love about 4, but this season's kind of about the death of a small town, and then 4 just kind of forgets about that, and Hawkins is fine. And I don't buy that
Well,
with how much of the population is wiped out here.
until it's not.
Yeah,
Although I am worried that from screenshots that we've seen that we're just going to skip over that.
maybe. Because 4 ends in a very, like, this is the point of no return, the world's gonna change, and maybe they backtrack on that. Oh, we'll see.
No, like, yeah, the heroes are kind of cartoony, but arguably this is the darkest villain subplot until Vecna.
Oh, again, the body horror stuff is treated very seriously, very fucked up.
All right. Well, if you're watching this after fact, thank you as always for watching, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe.